Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome back to another Temple Talk Live, our Sunday sermon. I'm here
with Edmundo.
And for those, I liked how you said
Edmundo.
that. And for those who are new, I'm Cara, and we're the founders of the Dragon Eye Tribe. And we have a kind of fiery, but also very necessary conversation for this morning or this week's conversation. And that is that if you're going to be a paradigm shifter, if you're going to be a leader, a revolutionary leader, if you're going to really be a change maker, and you're going to be resourced and supported and taken care of and held, and your impact and your mission is going to be sustainable, then you have to have the courage to be disliked.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk about all the things that entails, and also like how fucking liberating it is, and like what happens when you take a stand and the sensations that come with it. We're going to talk about all the things, and you're welcome to ask questions. Maybe some of you have experienced this yourself where you've been projected upon. We're going to talk a lot about projection today, what it is to not take on other people's projections and allow that to small you.
I think this is a topic that we're all aware of, that we experience it, but when you truly start paying attention to how much it affects you, where it shows up, you start realizing how much you filter yourself, how much you hold yourself back for the fear of being disliked. I know this has been like my journey, right? So I started writing all this content on Facebook and all this thing that just comes through me. And I started realizing how there's been points where I wanted to filter myself. And I'm like, why do I want to filter myself? How come I don't want to say that thing? And then I'm like, is it because I'm afraid that people are going to judge me? Am I afraid that people are going to challenge me? And I was like, yeah, those are valid. But the main fear is that I'm going to be disliked. And then I started looking at where it shows. And it's, okay, so my family struggled with poverty, and we grew up not having a lot of money. And even that has been an issue for me, to be like, no, I'm going to be financially successful, and almost like holding myself back because of the fear that I wasn't going to be able to relate to my family anymore, or that they were going to somehow judge me. And I was like, damn, I guess it goes so deep in our psyche.
Yeah, and we just like really caved in. We didn't even like warm them up, kiss their necks, nothing today.
Nah, it's not that kind of day today.
Sorry, no foreplay, straight into it.
And what happened was we've been talking about that this morning, so we're already like fired up, because it's something that, I don't know, for me, right? And it's, of course, there's medicine. There's a lot of medicine here. But it almost feels like, for me, it feels like almost like an injustice that as a society we live with so much fear that we can't be ourselves, right? And this is since like we were little kids. Since we're little kids, right? We start filtering ourselves. We start like losing ourselves in other people's ideas and other people's beliefs, right? Because we want to be loved, because we want to be accepted, because we want to fit in, all the things. So this starts like at a very young age, in school and religion and with our parents and our peers, and it shapes us. And then you become an adult, you want to start that business, or you discover your gifts and you want to share them with the world. But that condition is so deep in there that you almost even don't know who you are, or you don't know how to navigate the world in a liberated way, where you don't give a fuck what people think about you, and you're just who you are, and you're authentic, and you're not afraid of saying the things and of going after your goals and just living the life that you want to live. And so it's something that I guess we feel very passionate about, especially being on this side, right? Because we have big missions, and we do hold a lot, and we hold so many containers and so many people. And sometimes we've gotten really good at seeing people and understanding like the dynamics that get played. But nonetheless, sometimes we're like, man, it hits you, and it's, there's that part of me again that is still a little afraid of saying the things, holding the boundary, because being afraid of being disliked.
Yeah, and like so last year, so here's like where this has been like very alive. So last year, I personally went through numerous initiations around this, and we both have in our own different ways. But last year I got hit pretty hard with some projections from people who I cared about, who I'd been very vulnerable with, who their words mattered to me. And then I see Danielle is watching, and Danielle actually told me, like, there's only 5 people or 3 people whose words should ever fucking matter to you. And I was like, oh yeah, like, why am I letting this person's words matter to me? Like, why am I letting this penetrate me? Why am I letting this hit me in this way? But it did give me so much medicine to extract from that very painful, hurtful experience where I was wildly projected upon, and then I was able to be like, oh shit, they didn't humanize me. Oh shit, this is their things and I'm holding a mirror for this. Oh shit, that was way fucking non-consensual. They didn't ask before they just dumped all this through a text message. Oh shit, you know, like, that wasn't fucking cool. And in the moment, I didn't have like all the awareness, all the tools to really, I stood my ground to the best of my ability, but this medicine continued to permeate through me for many months. Edmundo was like, I don't know why you even care about that, and fuck that, whatever. And I was like, no, there's a lot here. And I felt my voice very stifled last year. I really struggled to like say the things I really wanted to say. And I was like, why is this happening? I've always just been I have always been like a rebel in that way, and loud and what have you, but I really was like going through so many deep initiations, and I wanted to share them as the medicine that they were, but I couldn't bring myself to share about some of these like really deep initiations that I navigated behind the scenes. And as we arrive to this week's, this past week's full moon, whatever's happening in the astrology, Jenna Allen put it all in the switch of the nodes and all of these things that are happening astrologically that are impacting us energetically and are giving us all this medicine, all these different things to navigate. I was like, oh, I have been being developed, and even the things that Edmundo and I have navigated in our relationship last year. And I will be talking more about this, and we're going to be teaching this. We're literally going to be teaching you all this inside the Sacred Wealth Society. And last year was my year of sacred wealth, right? And so of course, like, all of these really intense initiations came through for me, and they were beautiful, but they were really challenging. And I'm realizing, like, as you were talking, I'm like, oh, because if you are still codependent, if you're still like caring about other people's rejections or opinions or thoughts or whatever of you, then you're not yet sovereign, then you're not yet liberated, then you will allow the confines of their fears and their boxes to small you. And I refuse to fucking do that anymore. And I had this really beautiful release this week of several people that joined us earlier on in our journey and just didn't continue to walk with us because of their own reasons, their own fears, their own whatever it was, right? It wasn't their time. And I had been holding on to, oh, maybe they'll come, maybe this time they'll step in. And then that never happened. And I just have completely, with so much love, detached from any of that ever happening. I don't need it to happen. I'm good. I'm like looking forward and like just wild expansion. And because wild expansion is my intention for this year. And just, it's requiring a releasing of all of this control to maintain any type of perceptions of me, how you perceive me, how you receive me, how you experience me. And I just put all that responsibility down, because that's a lot of like energy to hold and contain. And yeah, it wears on you. It's exhausting. And I didn't even realize that I was still doing it in certain ways. And I was just like, oh, like, I've always had this intention to be very unfiltered, to be very raw, to be very authentic. And I started finding myself like stop. I wasn't doing that in the way that I wanted to, but I also couldn't bring myself to go to the next edge of I don't give a fuck. And I experienced that this week, that like release, right? So this is like what's brought us to this conversation we've talked about this many times, like people project things on us all the time. You guys are facilitating devil worship, or you're this and you're that, and you're a cult and you're running a cult, and just all these different stories that come up. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Of course, like my intention is never to cause harm and to wield my power responsibly, but just to really remove that filter. And I found myself like being like, oh, like last year, oh, I'm the leader, so I need to be the bigger person here. And then not honoring my human in the process. And I'm just like, no, my human will be honored here, or we're not doing this. I don't need your money. I don't need your love. I don't need you to like me. I need me to like me. I need me to love me. I need to know that I will protect my sacredness at all fucking costs. And so that's really there's been a recent experience that went down for me where I was like, oh no, you're not going to project on me. You're not going to put this on me. I'll take responsibility for my part in this. I always am available for that. But I'm not gonna, but if you can't also take self-responsibility and take your own self-ownership, there's nothing left here for us. Like then this dynamic is done, because I'm not going to subject myself to that. Whereas last year I did, and I wanted to preserve the relationship, and this year I'm like, no, because that is a total fucking dishonor, and I don't have to sacrifice myself for a client's money or attention or love, or I don't need them to see me in any certain kind of light, right? I get to be a full spectrum human, and if you can't respect my human, then that's your work to do and not mine. I'm also not gonna hold the emotional labor of that entire container. I'm just not gonna do that. Like, you have a choice to make. It's very simple, and oh my God, it was so freeing. It was so freeing, but this also had to happen in our relationship, and everything always happens between us first. And
I think, hold on, I think you need like a mic right now so you can just drop it.
Yeah, mic drop.
It
does feel like that. But it did feel like that energetically. Like I just cut all these threads and I felt all my energy open up. I felt this liberation be experienced, new levels of like power and of, oh, I can move in a different way now. I can be seen in a different way now. And hey, it's cool if you want to make me the villain of your story, but it also helped me get really clear on who I want to work with and how that journey and that process is going to look. So it's helped refine a lot of things. It's helped bring a lot of clarity, new standards, new boundaries. What was that?
And protocols,
intake forms, application processes. And we had to really see ourselves, and we are paradigm shifting leaders. Like, we're bringing things to people that are beyond their current level of consciousness. We're asking you to expand your consciousness into something else that you've never experienced or saw or thought before. And that asks a lot of people. And that those people have to be open to receiving that. So if you're here right now, thank you.
And then another thing too is at the beginning of this, we're a little bit green, right?
Yeah.
So when things like this go down, we're like, oh shit. We need to clean it up. We need to make sure that everybody's okay. And we couldn't see yet like the medicine that dynamic that was playing out was giving everybody, right?
Yeah.
And now that we've been doing this for quite some time, we have people that a year later, they're like, oh my God, I finally see the medicine of that. Oh my God, now I understand what you were trying to tell me. And this happens a lot now. Yeah. But 6 months later, people are like, sorry, I ghosted you. Sorry, I acted this way. I just couldn't see it yet. But thank you, because I've been sitting with it, because now I see my patterns. Now I just didn't know how to meet you there. I didn't know how to receive your medicine yet. And that gives us a lot of reassurance that this is the path. This is how shit works. You have this activation, you have this initiation, and then you have to walk that. You still have to, there's no skipping that. You still have to feel all the sensations of that. You still have to expand. You still have to open your heart. You still have to do the work. And that takes time.
Yeah,
that takes time. So now on this side, it's like, we just gotta be patient. We need to understand that this is something that they're walking through. But in the meantime, we don't have to take it. Like, we don't have to violate ourselves for this work.
Yes.
And that's something that's worth mentioning too, that I think we made a very strong decision that we weren't going to violate ourselves for the work.
Yeah.
Like, we'll give it our all. We're invested. We're committed. But we're not violating ourselves for the work. And that means, again, bringing it back to being this light. Sometimes it means being like, okay, I'm going to be the villain of your story. And you don't like me right now. I understand that. But I'm still going to love you. I'm not going to abandon you. I'm still available for any kind of conversations you want to have. I am here. And if you want to continue to work and, as Cara said, meet somewhere, we can do that. But if not, we have to just kind of give you space.
Yeah.
And we're here.
And just to even further clarify, that meeting somewhere else means meeting with an open heart, means meeting not to defend, not to respond, not to prove that you're right, but to listen. And we have had to do this so much. This has been coming up so intensely within our own relationship. And so then, which we were able to reconcile right before there was this other thing that came up, and it was oh, of course, it's all perfectly divinely timed because we've navigated it already. We've navigated it multiple times, but then we're deepening into, there's just these other little threads and little aspects and little areas that you're just oh shit, ooh, I've been feeling that underneath, but I didn't have words for it or a voice for it yet, or I felt it, but I couldn't make sense of what was there. And speaking of the feeling, is you want wealth, you want a lot of money, you want visibility, you want to make change, you want to really get into the depths and intimate spaces with other human beings where relating is required, or you want to have a voice on the internet, right, or on a stage or in a book, or a TV network, right? You have to be okay with people not liking you. You have to like yourself so fucking much that you're okay with other people not liking you. You have to know who you are so wholly, so fully, so solidly, and really truly be, again, so sovereign in who you are. And this is for any entrepreneur. You can go your whole entrepreneurial experience without doing this work, but it's going to be really miserable, and you're going to be really confined, and it's going to mess with you. It's going to keep you playing at a small level. If you're here and you want to play big, you really want to make a change in the world, you really want to have impact on humanity, you really want to leave a legacy for your children, your grandchildren, and their children, then you have to be okay with people not fucking liking you.
Yeah, and this is, as you're talking, I'm yes. And now we're here holding these containers and holding this mission and this group, but it started with us.
Yeah.
We had to, in our union, we had to be okay with, at times, not being okay with the other person being mad at us,
yeah.
or holding a very strong boundary of, nope, that's not what I'm going to do. It's not how I see it. It's not how I feel. And I'm going to hold this boundary. Yeah. And I hope that you can meet me there.
Yeah.
And we've done this in our union over and over.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's very annoying, it's frustrating, but we understand, okay, there's medicine here. Maybe you can't see it. I'm going to sit with it.
Yeah.
And then you sit with it. And sometimes you try to have those conversations and they get heated and you're okay, we're not ready there. We're not there yet. Okay, cool. We'll have to revisit this another time. Like Cara was saying, when our hearts are, and we're actually willing to hear each other. We're actually willing to see a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then the ball moves back and forth. I'm sometimes fuck, she was right. And then sometimes she's fuck, I'm sorry, you're right. I couldn't see it yet.
Yeah.
But this is what is required.
Yeah.
Right? And it's so easy to just want to be the pleaser, to just want to
fawn.
Fawn, or to just be fine. So there is no conflict. Yeah. So you're just to keep the peace, so you don't have to hold yourself through the being the bad guy or hold yourself through the not being liked. But it doesn't, in that space, nothing happens.
Yeah. You
just get stuck in the same loops over, and nothing gets resolved. There's no growth. There's no expansion.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I lost my... See, this is what I'm talking about. See, perfect example.
I'm sorry, I got excited. I was oh, yes. Because it started making me think of... And this actually started while we were on vacation. I just started to feel shut down. And here again, like coming back to Jenna's astrology, she was really talking about what we're navigating is like really going to awaken that holy fire, like that holy erotic fire within us. Yes, because we came back from vacation and I just felt like energetically dead, which is so not my baseline, like at fucking all, ever. Like maybe I might go through a little, like a week of feeling like that, but even until just like a few days ago, like yesterday, I feel like I was still coming back online.
How did that happen?
I have a sex shaman for a husband, and so yeah, we had a little
I had
session.
to open her
A little bit.
I had to dom her a little bit.
Oh my god, I needed so much doming. And that's also like really speaking to those like power dynamics that are happening like with internally, externally, between us, as you're like, fuck, like we're constantly submitting to each other. We're constantly surrendering to each other for our hearts to open more, to receive even more of ourselves, to deepen our intimacy and our connection. Because if our hearts are closed, we're turned off. We're shut off from source. We're cut off from our power. We can't receive. Everyone's here because we're talking about sacred wealth, right? Like sacred wealth it demands that you liberate yourself from the opinions and the beliefs of others.
I'm just saying, and this shit goes
deep.
Like deep. Even like yesterday, I started writing a post about this. I'm trying to make sense of it, because writing offers me is to organize my thoughts. Like I have all these thoughts, sometimes like freaking 10 at night, 11 at night, and all those thoughts are going through my mind. And then so I write, and then I organize my thoughts and I make sense of it. And yesterday, as we're navigating this, and so we've been doing this for a minute, I started organizing my thoughts. And one thing that came up, it was that her mentality. And then that led me into the witch hunts.
Oh.
And I was like, holy shit, this goes so fucking deep. This fear of, again, like, it goes beyond being disliked, right? But it starts there, right? Like the witch hunts, that way they started was, you have a woman that's liberated, that's doing the spiritual work, that's brewing her magic potions and all the things, right? And maybe she's magnetic, she's attractive, all the things, right? And here comes another woman that envies her, right? Doesn't like her. So then she goes and rallies up and gets other women that feel maybe the same about her. They're also jealous about her, right? And so then next thing you know, you have all these women talking shit about this woman. They're like, oh my god, she's a witch. She's fucking this and that. And then that's it. Then there's a witch hunt, and they get the men involved, and the men are like, yes. And the men want to be of service to the feminine, right? So they're like, yeah, sure, we'll do whatever you want. Just like us, love me, and we'll do whatever, even if it means fucking burning somebody else, right? That's how deep this shit goes, right? Yeah. But then I started realizing that yes, there was the men that were doing the burning, but there was also men that were doing the protection. And that this, as I'm exploring this, I realized that this still lives in the psyche of men. The men that were the protectors back then too. And I realized that at times when Cara's being her big self or sharing her messages, I'm like, don't say that. People are going to think you're weird. People are going to judge you. People are going to not understand you. Mm-hmm. They're going to think you're crazy. And I'm really like, why do I say that? Like, why is it that this thing within me wants to like small her or wants to make her wrong or almost wants to like in some way make sure she doesn't show surf to the world? And I'm like, oh, because there's a fear that lives in me that people are going to not like you. They're going to judge you. They're going to think you're crazy and they're going to come after you. And so in a fucked up way, I'm trying to like protect you from her mentality, from the mob, that they can come knocking on their door and take you away from me. So I don't want you to show yourself. Be small. Stay here. And then I realized that, and I've worked with her to just kind of release that control, let Cara be who she is. And at times, even her business invites me to different spaces, so I embrace it, right? But nonetheless, those thoughts have been in my mind. And as I was making sense of all this, I'm like, God damn, this shit goes deep.
I'm going to puke right now.
Yeah, this shit goes deep. And most of us don't understand that, right? We have good intention because, again, as men that are in their true masculine essence, we are protectors. But sometimes that protection comes out of fear. It's not out of love, not a sovereignty. It's about a fear. And in that fear, we become controlling. We try to move people.
Manipulative, abusive.
Yeah, all the things. And even though it comes from a place of wanting to protect, it's based on fear.
Yeah.
And you can't do shit with fear. It manifests not in the best, and not in a healthy dynamics. And then at the end of the day, when you go down that rabbit hole, it comes down to, again, the fear of being disliked.
Yeah, and how that threatens your core human needs of love, safety, and belonging. Because if you're like, oh my God, if people think my wife is fucking crazy, and then they might fucking kill her or attack my family or whatever, that threatens that will rock your fucking safety.
I wrote this post about women's safety, and the entry point for me was creating a world where the world becomes a safe place for my daughter. Like, I felt this fear of, man, right now I'm her protector, I'm guiding her, I encourage her to be her full expression, all the things, right? And I know that the world doesn't share 100% my opinion or my beliefs, right? And so I want to be that change. I want to change that, where she doesn't have to worry about being a medicine woman or being her full...
a priestess or an oracle.
Yeah, express self, and not have to worry about being disliked, about other women being envied at her, or other men wanting to small her also, or yeah. And so that was like a big entry point for me, just to be that change. But of course, like, this is the work that we've done, but now it's like looking more into the future.
Yeah, and I feel like we just continue to get like even more refined doses of these initiations, to navigate them in these like very intricate ways. I really feel like what we're speaking to today, there's a lot of intricacies that all like weave into this, right? It's, oh yeah, here's this topic, but it's, oh yeah, here's this thing, fuck what anybody thinks about you. Oh yeah, that's really easy to say, but the work, the path to arriving at that place is very arduous. You're going to have to really look in a lot of the, what have you called, the corners of your psyche, of your shadows, right? And then you will be given these opportunities. And this is the path of a leader, of a revolutionary leader, of a paradigm shifter, of a change maker, of an ancient healer, a priestess, an oracle, a medicine woman, a shaman. Like, these are the initiations that you must walk, because our ancient ways that were once the way have been so long forgotten and repressed and went underground because of these, really distorted patriarchal power dynamics that emerged at one point. And so women like us, right? And I see Erin Ryan is here today, and like, I know she really walks the oracle path, and I am also walking that oracle path as well. And I feel like so much, I'm like full chills right now. Like, I know that so much of what's happening for me right now is to liberate my voice on an even bigger scale, to share the codes and the messages to awaken the other women and their dragon energy, awaken their wombs, right? Because this is what the dragons do, right? Like, they're here this is to heal our wombs. And we are all like, there's a collective awakening, especially for women such as us and men who are here to be our protectors, we're all awakening back to this right now. But we're a very small percentage of humanity at this time. And that means that we have to be so fierce. I call it our siren song. Oh my God, Erin, I'm like, you should hear what we're up to right now. We have a shamanic band, and like literally one of our band mates, it's like the siren, and we're doing like a whole, like what is it called? Like a set where there's like a siren experience. It's a vibe. Anyway, I love it. Yes.
And
it
just
is
by default, like by nature, like we're on the edge, right? We're challenging religious beliefs. We're challenging mainstream beliefs, thoughts, and we're trying to be that change in the world. So by default, we're a small percentage, and people are going to challenge us also, right? Because they don't want to release that control. Change can be very scary.
That power.
Adopting new beliefs and being open-minded to other things can be very scary. And then in that moment, people project their shit, and you have to be okay with holding that boundary. You have to be solid enough to just keep it moving, to keep expressing, to keep pushing on those triggers of society, to be that change.
Yeah, and that's a lot of sensation to hold. So this brings us to like the level of holding this path, that walking this. And we're not just, here, let's be rebels and fuck people up, but also be poor and broke. No, we're like, we're here to reclaim our place in society.
Definitely don't want to be the martyr.
No, we're not going to fucking sacrifice again for this mission. So we're going we're going to be paid, we're going to be taken care of, we're going to be rewarded, we're going to be compensated very handsomely for our sacred gifts. Because for all of you walking this path, it is no small feat to walk a path of mastery and enlightenment and do shadow work and all the things that is required of us. These initiations are nonstop, right? But we're doing this not just for the betterment of ourselves, yes, but also for our children and for society as a whole. So it's like we are really giving so much of ourselves to the collective, and we should damn well fucking be compensated well for that, right? And so this is what Sacred Will Society is about, right? To reclaim our place in society, to be so well resourced. And in order to do that, you have to become a safe space for the sacred wealth to flow through you. Because if you're not safe within yourself, you can't receive it. You can't let it in. And so this is also like why it's like sacred wealth requires this of you. And this is like one of the huge, there's so many different like paths that merge together into this that we'll be teaching courses on inside of Sacred Will Society. But this is the deepest work that we've had to do. Like the dismantling of, so many people will come in and experience us for the first time and they'll be like, that was the weirdest shit I've ever done. I've done some weird shit.
The witchiest shit.
The witchiest shit. The weirdest shit. What the fuck was that?
And what else do you have?
and oh my God, I'm not even in this world right now. Sometimes people are like, I have to take 6 months just to integrate 1 4-hour experience and then come back and be like, okay, help me make sense of what just happened. Yeah, we
you
can't.
Got comments?
Oh, we have so many comments.
We're fired up today.
We're fired up. We bring in the fire. Yeah. Okay. And also too, like the bonus of all of this is as you refuse to take on the projections of others and you stand your ground and you hold your boundaries and you command, like Alana said, that reverence, it opens up, it will turn you the fuck on because you're alchemizing your own fears and it's very confrontational. But when you meet it with love, you can meet it with fierce love. Love is not always gentle, you guys. You can meet it with that fierce love and hold the boundary, honor your humanness, all the things. And it will open you back to source. You'll open your channel again. You'll open your heart again. You'll return to safety. And that came up in our session yesterday. I was like, we're launching Sacred Will Society right now. And I'm like, I always tell Edmundo he's my PR, my pussy relations. And I was like, I need some PR right now. And so he comes in and I thought I was getting there. And then all of a sudden, I felt myself shut down. And he felt it too. And he's like, what do you, and I was like, I'm just like not feeling. I'm like, not feeling again. And he's like, okay, what do you need? And I'm like, I don't know, like connection, safe, like heart open. And I knew that to open my heart, I needed to feel a sense of safety. But then I needed to be like submitted into that to receive the safety.
Well, again, like I think that surrender and that submission drops you into safety.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I needed that. And then afterwards I was just like laughing like a crazy psycho.
Oh, it was like 9 days before. She's like, I felt that. I need to feel excited. I don't want to do the thing and this and that. I'm like, okay. So what do you need? She's like, I just feel like I need like maybe some PR, assistance right now.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, all right, cool, we can do that. But then, like I said, it was just like I could feel her body just not being receptive or her body just not being there. And I'm like, okay, what do you need? And she's like, I don't know. But I know my wife, and I've gotten deep down this like the mysteries of the feminine. So I'm like, I know what you need. And I took her there, and it was like afterwards, it was like a different person.
Yeah.
Like a different person. She's like, fuck, man, this and that, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to tell this person this, and I'm going to hold my boundaries, and I'm going to open up, and blah, blah. And she was just like a writing machine, and doing all the things, and taking action, and saying all the things she needed to say. And then afterwards, it was like full liberation. She goes, I feel so free. I feel so big again.
Yes, I was like on a high yesterday, and I was like, but I was so proud of myself, and I was like, I set myself free from, I don't, you know what, think whatever you want to think from me, like, about me, I don't care, but this is the respect and reverence I command, and here's what's happening right now, and you can't see it because you haven't walked it, but I have, and I've been here before, and this is what has to be said right now in this moment.
Even like that, thinking back, is that now as I do things intuitively, and it's just, I know the path, if you will, and I've been doing this for a while, so I don't really think about it much, but thinking about it right now, I'm thinking like, there was probably a fear of her thinking that there was something wrong with her, or that her expression was bad, or who she is was wrong,
yeah.
or that you did something that you shouldn't have done, and all things, and that took you down a place of hiding yourself,
yeah.
repressing yourself.
Yeah.
And I know that in our session, I gave you the freedom to be you, to be kinky, to be like dark, to be like fully expressed, to be in your dark feminine, all the things, and I met you there, and I not only met you there, I pushed you to do that. I was like, come on, you're more than just like a fucking sheep or a fucking little worm in the ground. You're more than that. You're a fucking dragon. You're a fucking lion. You're a magical being. And come on now.
I did feel like a dragon. I did feel like we were like two dragons, and you were like submitting me.
Yeah, and
I did feel like that.
And I was like, come on now. And I really pushed her buttons, and I really took her there to, where she fucking became big, and she took up space with her voice and her desires and her turn on and her darkness and all that shit, right? Mm-hmm. And she was reminded of who she is.
Yes.
Of, no, you're that powerful. You're that sovereign. You can hold yourself.
And this is my medicine.
You know yourself, right? You don't need any people's approval. You don't need people to like you. You already know who you are. So come on, go get him, Tiger.
I think that was like really the beauty is as this experience that we had happened where there were some like projections and different things. And I was like, oh, what they're failing to see here is that this is my medicine. This is how I deliver my medicine. And I was like, this is the work. This part is not that anything is wrong. It's that this is the work. And this is how my medicine comes through. And it's not by me being perfect, it's by me getting it fucking wrong. I'm a 3-5 in human design. I'm a martyr heretic. Those are I have to fail and do all these experiments and get it all wrong and then figure it out. And that's how I teach. That's how I teach you. That's how I template you. And whatever your experience is with me is the medicine that you most need. But it's, if you can pull yourself back and look down on it and see, and those who are in my containers who have been able and willing to receive my medicine in this way will be like, yes, and her medicine is so fucking potent because of that. But then my line 5 makes me the mirror. So you're either going to pedestalize me or project on me, but if you can meet me in the middle, then you're going to be able to receive from me in a totally different fucking way, and it's going to be so powerful for the both of us. And it's very magical, but my medicine can be very bitter. It really can. And I had this experience last year where I was like, oh shit, am I here I have to be okay with people thinking I'm causing them harm in these deeper containers. And I come with a warning label, folks, like I do. And I understand that about myself now, and if you can sit with it long enough, if you can hold yourself through all the fucking discomfort, and if you can try to like be the observer of what's happening and be willing to die and be willing to surrender to what's on offer to you, you will be set free.
The thing that because even inside Sacred Society, we're going to be talking about our archetypes. And one of the archetypes is the Dark Goddess, right? And it's the descent to the Dark Goddess, the Lilith path, the Inanna path, where you have to be like stripped of all the titles, of all the fears, of everything to be your full self, your pure full self, right? Without the roles, without being the daughter, the mother, teacher, the holy hope, the martyr, sinner, all things. You have to strip all that shit away to find your voice, to find who you truly are. The Lilith path, liberating yourself, being like the what you call that mirror for liberation, and people projecting on you, and then having to grieve and feel the pain of all those times that you feel repressed or that you rejected yourself just to fit in, just to be the good little girl, all the things, having to feel all that shit. And this is like all the work that we're going to be doing inside the Sacred Wolf Society. Like,
we go deep. This is like not a membership like you've ever been in. And actually someone was like, hey, you're supposed to be charging $888 a month for this. And I was like, I believe it. Because when we birthed it initially, I was like, oh, it's just going to be a little entry level offer. It's just going to be one call a month. That's all I want to put on my schedule, babe. And the next thing I'm like, oh my God, this is like our whole, here we have the Ouroboros way. It's like becoming the overarching curriculum, and it's like the left-handed path, like also too, right? Everything we're talking about today is like when you walk the left-handed path, the path of the feminine, right? The path of like embodiment and sex alchemy and this womb awakening is so counterculture. People aren't going to get it. That's okay. They're not going to like it. It's going to trigger them. It's going to bring up all their fears of where they're repressed, all the things. But like also this walking this path and to the sex, death, and rebirth, right, of the Ouroboros is like, this is, and the regeneration that happens within, and the sustainability of this, right? Because it's the snake or the serpent eating its tail, right? And this is what we have forgotten, right? As we've been programmed in this patriarchal linear society, linear way of living, and it's just, it doesn't work like that. Look at the seasons, look at Mother Earth. It's always cycling. This is human life, and we're coming back to remember that. But that's counterculture. And so there's going to be pushback. There just is. Yeah,
even like from a male perspective, right? I question if I should be part of this sacred society. I'm like, I don't know, it feels like a left-handed path. We talk about a lot of feminine archetypes. And then I realized what my journey has been. As a man, being the masculine essence, I used to just solely rely on my masculine energy. That's it. Just do a linear path, and it didn't lead me to very, very healthy dynamics with my business, in my relationships, in my life, right? And it wasn't until I healed that feminine part of myself, where I understood how to also work with this energy, that I became more balanced. I didn't have to sacrifice myself, my family, my well-being for creating wealth. And I'm like, and this is something that I think like men also need to embrace and learn how to be more balanced. I know my dad didn't mirror that for me. My dad was, and I said, I've done a lot of work on this, but he wasn't around, right? Because he thought that maybe just providing, having a roof and food on the table was enough. And it wasn't enough. There was still like, as men and women, we need nurturance, we need guidance, we need love, all things. And a lot of that comes from our feminine side. Now, like, I can see myself like doing this work to help me to create a better relationship with my children and raise different kind of men that are not afraid of their emotions and vulnerabilities, and they're not afraid of saying I love you or holding or all the things. So this is extremely important also for men to walk this path as we create wealth together, especially if we're in union. It just has helped us. It's brought us closer. Yep. We understand each other better. There's still shit that comes up, right? She still gets annoying sometimes. I don't get annoying.
Last night I was literally like, you're so fucking annoying.
I know. She was like tired. It was like 2 a.m. We're talking, and then she's like telling me I need to fucking release control. And I'm like, what are you freaking talking about, dude, right now? And then she goes, I'm going to sleep. I'm like drooling from my mouth. I'm like, that's how tired I am. And then this morning I remind her, I'm like, what the fuck were you on last night? She's like, I don't even know, man. I'm like, this is what you said to me. She's like, really? And she's like laughing like that. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I meant that, but also sorry. It came out that way.
She goes, I was talking from my subconscious mind. I'm like, oh, even better.
We had a friend over who we hadn't seen in a while. We were just like talking, trying to catch up. And then all of a sudden I laid down on the floor and I was like drooling on my mouth.
And then she got up and started fucking going at
And
me.
then I just started like,
fuck.
they were talking, and whatever he was saying was like,
Triggered.
as I was like into it, starting to really drift into that, and I was like fucking pissed off at him. I guess I was like seeing things like I do when I'm in just sleeping in my dream time, and I just was like, blah, 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 blah.
It was funny
but I was
because
like, I wasn't even like awake all the way, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed. You're really pissing me off.
And she goes, you're annoying. You're really starting to piss me off. I'm just going to bed. I'm like, okay, good night.
And then this morning, I'm like, come and snuggle with me.
That's what I got you with. Anyways, look, I know we got some comments.
Oh my gosh, there's so many comments. Oh yeah, everyone's laughing. I know, it's so funny. You're not alone. You're not alone. Oh my gosh. There's so many comments today. I love this. There's so many things. Okay, Nina says, you look beautiful, Cara. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, so going back to the projection stuff, like Erin Ryan, she was saying that this is why she loves dragons so much, because they remind us of who we truly are, and they call us forward to show ourselves in our highest potency. And she was saying how, and I saw her post on this the other day. She was like, projections are energetic violence. And I saw your post on that earlier this week, and I was like, but like we all project onto people. Like none of us are so holier than thou that we aren't projecting.
Yeah, I said we don't strive for perfection. We don't strive to get it right every single time. But what we do strive or committed is to seeing, taking responsibility for our action, how we show up, growing, expanding. That's what we want. Improvement. Yeah. Improvement for every situation that comes up where there's friction or dynamics that play out that are not the healthiest, is like to just extract the medicine to keep improving, to keep growing. And something that Karen and I have said is we're willing to do it messy.
Yeah.
And that also releases the fear of being disliked. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I think people are going to dislike me. Sometimes I might even dislike myself. Yeah. And that's okay, because I trust myself that I'm going to clean it up, that I'm committed to this work, and that I'm going to take the time to see it, ask others what they see, and
make the repairs and come back to life every time. Yeah, and she was like, so sorry this happened to you. Yeah, thank you for that. I'm a line 5, so like I understand that this is going to happen, and my work has been to be like, okay, I can't control what you do, but I can just only control like how if I allow your projections to penetrate me, or how I receive that. And that's where I'm like drawing a hard line. I've been projected onto so much. I understand it's such an initiation. Yeah, you're an activator too. So this is it just happens. And Angel's so feeling this. Amy says, good morning. Erin was like, I just had to hold a boundary with a client, and it created something extraordinary and profound for her and me. I was being called to trust my channel more than ever, and that's exactly what I did. Feel so fucking good. Yes, 100%. Like I can relate to that very deeply.
It's a form of self-love. It really truly is. To put yourself first, to prioritize yourself, is self-love.
Yeah.
And that feels good to love on yourself in that way.
Yeah, and I really had to also I really had to develop this like self-trust for my own channel. Like you were saying, it's those my oracular gifts. And that's been challenging for Edmundo sometimes, because I can see things that he can't see, or I get messages that he's not getting. And then I'm bringing it forth and I'm sharing it, and he's, no, I don't think so, or maybe. And it can feel dismissive or like just a full-on rejection. Sometimes there's judgment there, and it hurts. It hurts because you're like, you're not receiving the fullness of my gift here, and that hurts me. And then he had this like really beautiful realization as he spoke throughout today. Oh, like I want to protect you in this way, and but it's coming from a fear-based place, and it's not allowing me to like fully receive your knowings in this way.
It's like redefining what protection is.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to redefine what that is.
You need to write a post on that.
Yeah. Because, like I said, and I think when the post I wrote, it's like, as men, we only focus on that physical protection. And we can only see life through that lens of, I'm here to physically protect you. But what about protecting your emotions? Yeah. What about protecting your spirituality? And this is something we're not taught, right? This is something that our parents didn't teach us, or men didn't. Nobody's having this conversation. It's like just when you sit with it and you're like, oh my God, yeah, like, how do I do that? even whenever she brings ideas, it's no, I don't think that's it, or maybe this, because I can only see it from that, or even like the fixing, or the immediately going into problem solving. Is that? It's like I can only see it from this lens, and so I'm only filtering to this lens, and there's shit. But there's a different lens. There's different things that I can't see yet, and then it's oh shit. Fuck.
Yeah, and that was like a big thing for us recently. That like it was so wild because like literally at the same night we were both like up really late or waking up early, processing all of these things, and he's oh my god, I realized what you basically have been asking of me. I'm sorry, I wasn't like seeing this piece that you needed. And here I am like, I need you to just listen and just hear me and acknowledge my gifts and trust them and trust my channel because I trust my fucking channel. And but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah, that's been like extremely challenging.
Yeah.
Protected physically, no issue. Even spiritually, no issue because I'm about this life, right? And I understand I come from this culture of spirituality, so this is like second nature for me. But this emotional piece, that's been the hardest. Something that I'm still navigating. I'm still dismantling this programming.
Yeah. Aaron also was talking about like how deep the sisterhood wound and the witch wound runs. It's probably been my biggest challenge as I've navigated walking this path for the last almost 5 years now.
The witch, and this is a kind of popular thing to say, but the witch hunt started with women, so that sisterhood would playing out.
Yeah.
And men just being like wanting to be a service to the feminine, complacent, also starving for love and acceptance. We're like, okay, sure, and then fucking that's how it all started.
Yeah.
So this sister wound, definitely goes very deep.
Aaron's really speaking to the siren work and like the siren song and how our most potent magnetic frequency of medicine is transmitted through our voice.
Well, we were having a lot of conversations about that. We went to our good friend Lauren's sound bath on Friday. And she discovered, or she was downloaded or given this tongue and language. And man, she was doing it, and man, it grabbed me. I got so emotional, and I didn't even know what she was saying because there's no words, but I could feel it, I could understand it. And this has been happening more and more now.
Yeah, that was really powerful. Yes, two oracles are meant to be exquisitely and fully supported. Ooh, yes, exquisitely. I love that word. Thank you for that. Rightful place in society, Amy says. We can't be in our highest potency without being richly resourced on all levels. Yeah, and again, all levels, right? Like spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And this is the part of sacred wealth, right? This has been the path that we've been walking for a long time. And there's, on the spiral, you hit it, you go deeper and deeper every time. And like here, we're really hitting some deep levels for ourselves of where we're like, oh, this is a different kind of resource. And this is everything that we stand for in Sacred Wealth Society and all of our teachings and our beliefs is like, yeah, we have to be fully honored as a holistic whole being, human and divine. And that's so important, but we have to first be able to do that for ourselves, meet ourselves there, and then we get to hold those energetic boundaries for others of like, oh no, this is how you will treat me. This is how you will interact
and not
with
only
me.
that, like as you're doing that, you're mirroring.
Yeah.
You're mirroring how you deal with conflict, how you deal with projections, how you love yourself, how you prioritize yourself. If we're gonna do the change, we have to lead. We can't just tell people how to do, but then we do the opposite.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a lot of power in holding that boundary.
Yeah, and it's embodied leadership is what you're speaking to here, like embodied leadership. And and this is part of our medicine, right, is as we have let's say a conflict or something gets activated or triggered for someone that we're in a container with, it's like how we navigate that and how we handle that is what creates a new imprint for them moving forward. Okay, you've been modeled this in this sacred, safe container with unconditional love present. Now your whole being, your nervous system knows how this can potentially look and feel, right? Because there's a lot of sensations of safety and what, okay, that felt safe. Ooh, that didn't feel safe. Ooh, that was just uncomfortable, but I alchemized it and I'm good now. And then you can go forth and create these different dynamics and patterns because it changes literally that unconscious ask of the world, right? Because there's beliefs that have to die in the process and it's a whole thing. And this is what we're going to walk with you guys through in Sacred Wealth Society. Oh, let's see. Elena said, the reverence is deserved. Amen, sister. Yes. And then Amy's, I've been writing about this, my initiation through this in my book. Yes. Elena's like, the amount of alchemy that's happened for me this weekend has been really a lot of hard work. So many lessons, my family, and lots of surrender via sex. So basically, you've been doing erotic alchemy. And I have to be safe and surrender to the receiving of the energy. Yeah, 100%. Sonia's, I've witnessed your journey for a couple of years, maybe more. And I love that you said you were a mirror, because as you came forward, I met you in the middle. I was there with you, and you moving forward made me feel like I wasn't the only one. I never really cared what anyone thought, yet I deep down something had held me down, and your work is so needed in this world, and I have so much love for you and why you all are doing this together. Oh, thank you, Sonia. And Sonia was like, yes, hell yeah, men are really suffering, and this is beautiful. Oh, Nina says, I'm also a line 5, and the awareness of the projections and that they aren't mine has been really confrontational this past year. Yes. We were just talking about you recently in that.
Yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
We saw you at Lauren.
No, different Nina.
Which Nina? We know
Nina Nicole.
Oh, yes.
We were just talking about her.
Yeah.
We were just talking about her. Let's see what else we got here. Yes. Amy says, I'm a line 5 too. Body yes to embodied leadership. Can't wait for Sacred Well Society to open the doors. Yeah. All right. So speaking of Sacred Well Society, we're going to close it out here. But if you all are interested in what we're putting down here, and this is like speaking to you, resonating to you, calling your soul, speaking to your soul, come join us. We would love to have you. We've got all these mini courses that are, honestly, I haven't seen anyone else teaching this level of work in the way that we bring it forth. Like taming the inner beast, right? Like becoming unfuckable, like the path to sovereignty, healing your attachment wounds in relationship with yourself, others, intimate relationships, and with money. We've got like returning to sacredness. It's just like everything has to be coded in sacredness to bring forth sacred wealth, right? Everything within the Ouroboros way is erotic alchemy. You are going to be masters at erotic alchemy, and this is the piece that's going to help you bring it into the body the most, right? This is where I feel like most containers are missing this piece. And not only that, but it brings it into your body, but it also activates the divinity within you, right? Because that's what sex does. That's what self-pleasure does. That's what opening your eros and to your desires and your pleasure, and alchemizing your fears, and really coming back into your power that way, right? Like all the things that we've been talking about today. Just really being able to be like, I know who the fuck I am, and I'm safe, and I got this, and I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and not having to sacrifice any aspect of yourself, not your physical, emotional, or spiritual safety for this work or for money. Yeah, or for clients, or for your relationships, or for anything. Just really being able to so fully, truly honor yourself on the path. Legacy that this is going to be creating, the ripple out into humanity and through your lineage. Just that is massive, epic work. So
this is our program.
Yeah.
This is our program, because Cara has her own programs and I do my own thing, and this is how Cara and I come together to do this work in divine union, and this is why the Ouroboros, and this is why we chose to share all our wisdom and all our teachings or all our experience through this program.
Yeah, in this one container. And there's also not a lot of people who are teaching wealth in this way, who are teaching wealth in partnership as a union. And we're humans. We desire deeply connection and intimacy. And this is like what we're here to have and be. But so much of this is like unguarding the heart, right? And this is like our specialty. This is what we do. And divine union is the path to sacred wealth. And divine union is merging the sacred, the profane, the shadow and the light, the earth and the cosmos, all the things. And that's what the Ouroboros way is a guide for. come join us. If you want to pay in full for the year, it's $18.88 and you'll get 2 months free in that way. Or if you want to do the monthly path, it's $188 a month. We've got group coaching calls. We've got multiple courses that we're going to be rolling out over the course of the next, this is going to be years and years to come, but we have numerous courses that we're going to be rolling out to you. I mentioned a few of them already. We're going to be teaching about sacred receivership. What did we talk about?
Align action.
Yeah, like sovereignty, sovereignty. Yeah, just like aligning everything there. It's very practical as well as mystical and spiritual and emotional and subconscious reprogramming. And then there will be we'll be doing some sacred wealth activations. We're going to be working with some sacred wealth archetypes. That's been really helpful for us as we've identified some of our own archetypes. It just helps bring you in a bit more and helps you understand how you're navigating wealth and your path and how you work with things energetically. Yeah, and just, I feel like I'm forgetting something here. The mini course library, sacred erotic alchemy, group coaching. Oh yeah, we have our Facebook community. It's going to be super, super potent and powerful. So I'll post the link above, and we would love, love, love to have you. For those of you who join us before next Thursday, which I believe is the 23rd, we have a free bonus, and it is a free one-on-one private erotic alchemy session with Edmundo and I. It's like a $555 value. So it's only available for the first 8 folks. So come join us and step in and receive everything you've ever desired. We're going to take you on this beautiful journey with us, and we want you to have it. We want you to have everything you desire. And it's available for you if you are so willing to receive it and die beautiful, sweet, ecstatic deaths over and over again. We're going to teach you how to do it. All right.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but Cara really likes that.
I'm here to be an initiator of death. So I want to teach you how to surrender and for it to be ecstatic. You don't have to fight to the death. When you surrender, as I was telling you about my session yesterday, it was beautiful and orgasmic and ecstatic and deep, and and it was wildly fucking liberating. I want that for you. I want you to know that kind of liberation. That's the wealth. That's the ultimate wealth. To be so deeply connected to Source and be so embodied as Source. That's the greatest wealth of all.
Yeah.
Okay. I love you guys.
We gotta go on a hike now.
Yep.
And it's 16 degrees outside.
Woo! It's gonna be fun. Adventure. Yeah. Ice and all the things. Okay, love you. See you guys next week.
Yeah.